What's up, y'all, man? I want to talk about this 135-pound division and mainly talk about Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. This is a very, very interesting fight, to say the least. Um, Ryan Garcia, Ryan Garcia just came off the Luke Campbell victory, and he called out Tank Davis, even though Devin Haney was there in attendance. He called out Tank Davis, and he said he won't fight Tank Davis. So I know a lot of people do not think Ryan Garcia is ready for Tank Davis. I think he is. I think he's ready. I think he's ready to compete with Tank Davis. Can you hear me, Hypotype?
Yeah, you're a little low. I don't know if it's my side or your side, but your volume isn't that high. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you good. How about now?
Yeah, that's a little better.
How about now?
Yeah, you sound louder now.
Yeah, man. What do you think about the Luke Campbell fight?
I thought it was a fun fight to watch. I thought it was a good fight. Neither guy surprised me all that much. I found it a little bit surprising that Campbell didn't go for it more when he seemed to have Garcia hurt. He didn't step on the gas a little bit more just to, see what would happen. But other than that, it was pretty much how I expected it to be. Aside from that knockdown and then him not stepping on the gas.
Yeah, that surprised me more than anything that he knocked him down. Now, after the fight, Campbell said he didn't think that Ryan was hurt. But my thing is this: Ryan is a young fighter, man. Jump in and see what happens.
Yeah, you gotta find that out by trying to attack a little bit. He just basically fought as if, in my opinion, as if the knockdown never even happened. That's what it seemed like to me. He just kept on fighting the same way as before the knockdown. Like, at least after a knockdown, you want to put a little pressure on the guy and see how his legs are looking and see if he's backing up more. But I'm actually not that surprised that Garcia got knocked down. More surprised that he got knocked down by Luke Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Than I am that he got knocked down, because he does keep his head. He has one of those long necks. And for guys like that, I have a long neck. It takes a lot for you to learn how to work with that, because, if you have a lot of success and you never learn how to like hide your head better, or take it off the center line or whatever, people with long necks end up getting, knocked down a lot.
Yeah, man. The thing with me is this: if you Luke Campbell and you came and fought, in another fighter's home country, and you knock him down in the second round, and then you don't jump on him to see, especially because he's a young fighter, you don't see what you can get out of that. It's mind-boggling to me. It's like really like
Yeah,
he
it's
was
like he
not going to
blew
win.
his chance.
Yeah, I think he blew his. I was surprised because I thought he was gonna jump on him. I was like, oh man, Ryan is gonna be in trouble, man.
I mean, there's two schools of thought. Like, the same thing, I would make an analogy to when remember when Vladimir knocked down Anthony Joshua,
Yeah,
and his brother kept telling him, like, yo, take it easy. You got 5 more rounds. He's gonna tire out. He's got too much muscle. Don't go for it yet. And then he ended up getting knocked out and stopped.
yeah.
So, I mean, there's fights like, do you remember, who is that guy? I can't remember right now, but there was this one fight um, with the like a really heavily touted prospect, where he got the knockdown, and then he just unloaded for like a minute straight on this guy, Soto Carras. It was Soto Carras, and Soto Carras just took it all and then ended up coming back to win. Um, so I think there's a happy medium there. Like you don't want to just fight as if you didn't knock the guy down. That's what I thought Luke Campbell did. But you also don't want to like overdo it and end up burning yourself out and then you get knocked out. So I think he was probably erring more on the side of caution.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a way to do like halfway in between where you do put some pressure on the guy just to feel him out and see how much the knockdown really did affect him. Because guys that are smart, like, for instance, Benny Leonard would always pretend when he would get knocked down, he would always pretend that he wasn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So guys wouldn't try to attack him. But you never know if someone's pretending or not. So you got to test it. You got to push him a little bit and see exactly, how well he recovered.
And listen, I know people say, well, people are most dangerous when they hurt, but yeah, they may be most dangerous when they hurt, but you still have to. You can still go in there and be responsible as you trying to finish a guy. You ain't got to be all wow. You can still go in there and be under control, but you want to see because it wasn't a flash knockdown. It was a legitimate knockdown.
No,
Ryan
that
was
was that was a
no, that
solid
was
punch.
yeah, I was a solid puncher. He even said after the fight, he said, "Yeah, I was dizzy." So when him saying that he was dizzy, man, you gotta go finish. You gotta go see if you can finish him. Test the young man's mettle. See where he's at. See where what he's gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I think he missed. But see, Campbell is what he is. Like some fighters are what they are. I know, and people was killing Campbell, but some fighters are just what they are. I mean, you can't make them no more than what they are. But what they show you throughout their career is that Campbell just does enough to compete. That's all he
Yeah,
has
he
shown me with the
has
knowledge.
sort of a lack of the killer instinct. He's definitely not a finisher from what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, he just he just does enough to compete. We have those fighters throughout history that does it just enough to compete. They just can't get over that, you know what I'm saying, over that hump. And I think he's one of the fighters. But
Oh, some guys have had very good careers doing that. I mean, Floyd Mayweather in his latter part of his career did just enough to win every time. I mean, he never really went for it, but he was successful at it. And I just think there's a big talent gap between him and someone like a Luke Campbell.
yeah, yeah. Um, so what do you think of this possible matchup between Garcia and Tank Davis? I like. Well, you go first. You go ahead and go first. I'll see if you.
I don't like that fight for Garcia. I mean, I want to see the fight. Obviously, if they make the fight, I'm happy as a boxing fan. But if I'm Garcia, I'd rather fight Devin Haney because I think a shorter guy like that and a southpaw has an advantage over someone who's so straight up like that. You know, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because like a shorter guy with someone who's straight up and down, especially a southpaw fighting a right-handed guy, can lean to his right, throw a right hook to the body, and then come over the top with an overhand left and knock you out, as we saw Paul Williams get knocked out by Sergio Martinez. And his head was always up and straight in the middle, and Lara was hitting him with the same punch. And his first loss against Quintana was the same thing: a left-handed guy throwing an overhand left and hitting him. And yes, he came back and avenged the loss with Quintana in the second fight in good fashion. But that knockout against Martinez was so like scary. His eyes rolled back. I remember his, thinking like, "Oh my God, is he okay?" And I was a big Paul Williams fan, and I think he could have beaten a lot of guys, but he had trouble with shorter southpaws. And I think Ryan Garcia is going to find that he has the same problem. So if I were him, I wouldn't fight short. I wouldn't fight Tank. I think Tank is all wrong for him. I would go for Haney and get the title. Why not? Still there?
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's
yep.
what I would say. Or Tiafimo, one of those two.
Hey, can y'all hear me clear?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you sound good.
you better.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, yeah, I kind of agree with what Hyplo said, man. First of all, good to hear from y'all cats, man. Y'all been busy a couple of last few days with practice, but it's good to sit down and be able to talk some boxing. Um, Ryan Garcia versus Tank as a proposed fight, if that's the subject. I got Tank winning. Tank is just too strong. He just got the attributes that nullify everything that Ryan Garcia has. A lot of people talk about his speed, but I'm not too impressed with his speed. I think a lot of that stuff is pop and flash, like Amir Khan doing the bottle trick. It looks good, but in real time it just doesn't hold up all the way. So I
Wait,
got
what's the bottle trick? I've never heard of that.
well, Mir Khan do these series of tricks where he take a plastic bottle. It's pretty cool. It's pretty impressive. It's on YouTube. It's empty, and then he'll just like pop it in a circle, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, and then like rotate it in midair. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people thought it was kind of like Photoshop
Ah,
or
that's cool.
yeah, he pretty, he got some good coordination. Like most boxers, same thing with Floyd. Floyd with the hands, not looking at the hands in the mitts and stuff like that. But sometimes that stuff just don't translate for me. Um, and I think that Tank is gonna stop him. Just what I can see for now.
Well, I'm going for the upset. I'm picking Ryan Garcia to beat Tank, man. I know Ryan Garcia. He does do really one thing that I really hate. He holds his head so
Uh,
straight up. Like I'm wondering, like why is his trainer's Canelo trainer? Why is he letting him? Now I don't know when he got with him. Maybe he's trying to correct it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how long their time has been, but he has to correct this dude holding his head up like that. Now he's like 5'10", 5'11". He's kind of tall, kind of rangy. Um, Now we all know Tank Davis like to go for the knockout. Tank Davis is a guy that like to stalk you and like to knock you out. Tank Davis was getting hit by with some punches by Leo Santa Cruz that he could have avoided some of those punches. It seemed like Tank Davis gets lazy on defense. It's like he don't care about defense. Because I don't think Tank Davis has ever really been hurt in the fight. So I don't think he even cares about defense. He just likes to try to walk through a person's punch. Now, Ryan Garcia, one thing he has good going for him, he's very heavy handed. He's a fast guy, he's a rangy guy. He does need to clean up some things. Now, I think he's trying to fight Tank Davis now. Tank Davis is still at 130 though. So the issue is Tank Davis ready to move to 35? Because I don't see Ryan going down to 30 to fight him. So
Hasn't Davis fought at 35 before though?
I think Davis did fight him.
Tank,
Didn't he
Tank
fight
floats
him?
he floats between 30 and 35, but it's safe to say that he can handle himself at 135. We talk about 140, that's a different story, but 30 and 35 is his wheelhouse right now. So these guys at 35 or 30, they within his wheelhouse. So he should be straight. Garcia probably get stopped though.
Let me look at the 130 pound division because if it's a big fight, is it a big fight at one? I'm trying to see if is it a big fight. Well, Shakur Stevenson is down there, but I don't see them doing fighting right now. I
Zone,
don't think
wouldn't you
he's
think that fighting Devin Haney for a title is a better fight for Garcia? I mean, it
Yep.
seems like he has a better chance of winning that.
I think that's what most people assume. Some people who are high on Devin Haney would disagree. I'm not sold on Devin Haney. I'm not a fan of his style. I'm not impressed with anything that he does. I'm just not impressed. Garcia versus Haney would seem to be a smoother route to me.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and get that title, get some more steam on your name, get some more respect. make it look like it's a possible contest between you and Tank. Get some better experience. I like Devin Haney for him too because Devin Haney is a rangy, slick fighter,
I was
patient.
just gonna say that he's not as short and blocky as Tank. To
Yeah,
me, that's the wrong body type for Garcia.
to me too. That's what I'm saying. Like Garcia got this noodle neck type of thing going on, and Tank just too blocky and sturdy. If you're gonna fight a guy who's built like a block, you can't be built like a noodle. Like that's like we keep seeing this over and over. Like if these guys is very tall, and we're like, oh man, he's gonna be a monster. And then they fight a blockier, stronger, shorter guy like Canelo versus this what's the guy Smith who we just fought, one of the Smith brothers or whatever. And people
Callum Smith.
yeah, right. So it didn't look good for Callum. And we seen what Canelo does. The same thing with Kovalev. I mean, this just happens over and over again. Same thing with Mike Tyson. When you got those kind of guys fighting these lanky, hollow kind of guys, it just doesn't look good. Same thing with Pacquiao and Algieri. I mean, you got to be able to be strong and big if you're going to be able to keep Tank off you. You can't be just lanky. You know what I'm saying? It's more to
Yeah,
just being lanky. That's not.
it's funny because like you hear a lot of times people discussing like styles, and a lot of people mention this idea of tall fighters knowing how to fight tall, you know, and that's such an important thing. But what never gets mentioned is shorter guys knowing how to fight short. If a shorter guy knows how to fight short, he can get inside of that ranginess and use his, lower center of gravity, better balance, and land ripping shots to the body and then go upstairs. Like I think knowing how to fight short is just as good as knowing how to fight tall. It's just about using your attributes and whatever anatomy you have to your advantage.
Well, I think these fighters, all these young guys, I think all of these guys are. I don't see any of these guys being, let's just say, head and shoulders above the other. I think at probably any given time, one of these guys can knock off the other if they're willing to fight each other at this stage of their career. Right now, it's a lot of lip service. You know what I'm saying? Timo Fimo calling out Devin Haney calling out Timo Fimo, Ryan Garcia calling out everybody. Tank Davis really not calling out nobody. You know what I'm saying? Tank Davis really is not calling out anyone. Tank Davis is like moving to the beat of his drum because Mayweather has a plan for him. Mayweather has a plan. Hey Mike, OX Mills, just hit the link and join the panel and you can say what you need to say and then you
Yeah,
can shout
yeah,
your own
but
stuff out.
I think
But
I think one thing that you need to take into consideration too is that Garcia is so young. He hasn't really grown into his body. We all know as being older guys that
true, that's a good
it,
point.
until you're like in your late 20s, your bone density isn't quite the same. Like Ryan Garcia to me is sort of like still in that soft early 20s
Yeah,
where the testosterone hasn't really soaked into his bones yet.
yeah,
And I think Tank, if I'm Tank, I'm jumping at the chance to fight this kid. Like I get Mayweather has a plan or whatever, but I mean that plan has been going on. Tank's been around for a while now, man. I mean, we've been talking about him for years now. And this Garcia kid, to me, it's almost like when Mayweather fought Canelo, he did it perfectly at the right time because he knew Canelo was still green. And I think Tank can use that to his advantage against Garcia and beat this young phenom and, boost his own notoriety because this guy's got a lot of fans, obviously. So if Tank beats him, then Tank's going to get some of those fans and he's going to have bragging rights and maybe they can have a rematch down the road when the younger kid, grows into his body a little bit more. But if
I,
I'm Garcia,
I
I
agree.
want I want Devin Haney. I want that title. I want to see how good Devin Haney really is because Devin Haney isn't a short, blocky guy like Tank. That to me, that's dangerous for Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, exactly. Right now, I think Devin Haney will give Garcia some opportunities, to look good without necessarily taking a bad loss. Devin Haney intentions are not bad to me when I see him. He's a point specialist. He's a pity pat kind of fighter. He's gonna do the technical thing. And whenever you have a guy that's being technical, you're safe, from harm. Tank is not gonna do the technical thing. We know he has discipline problems. He comes in and he try to really hurt you real bad. That's his stick. And Garcia against Tank is gonna be an element of danger there. Like hard nosed danger. Tank is gonna try to go in there and really destroy this guy. And if Tank does that, he may never be the same again, because if Tank put one of those vicious uppercuts on you like he did Leo Santa Cruz, you're gonna go away for 2 years, your whole year. And you're gonna chill out, you're gonna relax. But Devin Haney, you may can have a split decision loss or win. It could be some controversy, it could be still some salvaging there. You could even pull off the win, like you said. So I think that's the best route for him.
Totally agree.
Okay, so what do y'all think about Teofimo Lopez now? Now that Ron Garcia called out Davis, now he's saying everybody ducking him. See, Teofimo, this is I seen his interview, his father interview on D Style channel. Did y'all see that? His father had an interview on. It's a good.
Yeah, I caught a lot of it.
You see?
Yeah.
You see? Okay.
Yep.
Now this is what I don't like about what his father was talking about. See, his father is holding on to a lot of bitterness that happened to them in the Olympics, and now his father is talking about he's bringing that bitterness to the pros, and now his father is talking in the sense of fighters have to prove that they can fight his son. See, I hate when people talk like that because you should, as a champion, you should want to clean up every all the mess, right? So if we say that you're not undisputed, which you're not undisputed, but if you want to dispute that, y'all can do something about that by getting Devin Haney in the ring and cleaning up that mess. Like, why have the mess out there that you don't like? You can clean it up and get rid of it instead of being bitter about people saying that your son's not undisputed, because your son is not undisputed. Okay, I know that Mauricio Suleiman, he elevated Lomachenko to franchise champion, which he had to drop the regular belt because the franchise champion is a guy that don't have to do the mandatory. That's why he was elevated, because okay, you don't have to do the mandatory. And somebody was correct on Zone's live he did the other day that you can turn down the franchise, because I believe Deontay Wilder turned it down or something like somebody turned down the franchise. Okay. So Deontay Wilder turned, so you can turn it down. So Lomachenko could have turned it down, but he didn't want to turn it down because I guess he wanted to do something else, whatever.
It was a way of him getting out of fighting mandatories. That to me, it was the same thing when they started the WBA Super. It was like, okay, you've established yourself. It was supposed to be for like unified guys that had unified titles, so that they didn't have to not fight unifications and fight mandatories instead. And then it evolved exactly the same way this franchise thing is evolving. I mean, it's almost identical. They're just two different names. One's super and one's franchise. It's basically the same thing, but it's evolving to the point where it wasn't supposed to be transferable, but now they transferred it the first time the guy fought somebody. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, like I said, his son can clean up that mess. Don't talk about people not deserving a shot at you. Go, if you fight the right people, the right fighters. Like, you can go out there and fight Devin Haney. You can go out there and fight Tank Davis. I don't know if Floyd Mayweather want that fight yet. I mean, because this is all about Floyd with Tank Davis. He already said they got a plan for Tank Davis, so he has a plan for Tank Davis. So whatever, I guess.
I guess the plan is for him not to fight anyone good, because that's what's been going on.
Because look, Tank Davis could have knocked off Lomachenko 2 years ago or a year ago or whatever, because Lomachenko wanted to fight Tank Davis. He was chasing Tank down, And Mayweather said, "You don't have to worry about fighting him because he's older.
I
He
got a plan, and
yeah,
the plan is
yeah.
he's not going to fight you. That was the plan.
I'm still trying to figure out this. How is Mayweather gonna make Tank Davis a pay-per-view star when no pay-per-view star has ever been 140, 135, 130, except for Pacquiao. You can say Pacquiao was
Gotti
up
was a
there,
little
but
bit of a pay-per-view star.
Who?
okay. But
Gotti,
Uh,
Arturo Gotti.
yeah,
uh,
he
what?
fought Mayweather on pay-per-view, and I think he fought De La Hoya on pay-per-view, maybe.
140.
Maybe.
It was at 140.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's what I was
how many
saying.
how many
At
pay-per-view
140.
stars have we had from 130 to 135 to 140? Not that many. So I'm trying to figure out how he's gonna make this kid a pay per view star at that lower weight class. In order to do that, he's gonna have to fight these guys. He's gonna
No,
have to fight
he's gonna have to move up, bro. I mean, if he wants to be a pay-per-view star, first of all, he's gonna have to fight
move up where,
somebody.
move up where, move up where.
He's gonna have to move up throughout his career. And,
Like how far
just
you
like
think?
Mayweather did. Mayweather started at 130 and then he moves up to 147, 154.
Man, I don't think
Like,
Davis at no 147, man.
well, he's gonna have to do something because right now he's not a pay per view star, and he's not going to be a pay per view star. And I don't, this whole thing. Oh, I have a plan thing. It might sound good, but I don't see where that plan is going unless he's going to fight, a Ryan Garcia, a Tiafimo, or somebody like that. But if I'm Tiafimo, I don't go for Tank Davis. Why? What's the point? The dangerous fighter. He hits hard. I want the. What I do is I'm growing out of the 135 division already. I just clean it up. I take on Haney. I take on, just Haney. That's all he really needs, and then maybe defend it once against like a Ryan Garcia or something, and then move up.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what Timo Lopez. See, I don't think he did a good publicity thing after he beat Lomachenko. He should have been more out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about because that was to me that's the best win since what's the name knocked out Deontay since uh my guy what's his name again knocked out Wilder. I don't know why his name slipped my mind. Tyson Fury knocked out Wilder. That was the best win since then, and I don't think he capitalized off of that. I think Ryan Garcia has taken a lot of his thunder. If everybody talking about Ryan Garcia now, even though Ryan Garcia beat the lesser opponent, beat the guy who Fimo Lopez beat. So I don't look like I said, his father was saying some poignant things on that interview, but he was saying a lot of things that to me gonna hold his son back. Like you should want to go out there and fight Devin Haney. He keep on saying Devin Haney has to prove. What do Devin Haney have to prove? He got the WBC title. Your man, your son is trying to be undisputed. That should be enough. He already, whether you don't like that he got it, how he got it, the man got it. I mean, listen, he has it. So we can't go back and change it. If your son want to be undisputed, go get that title from Devin Haney. I don't know if it's a style thing that they looking at with Devin Haney because I don't think it's a style because Teofimo Lopez can box himself, but Teofimo Lopez to me is a better fighter. I don't know if
I
it's
think
that.
Tiafimo beats Devin Haney right
Oh
now.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
5 years from now it'll be different, but right now I don't see any of those guys beating Tiafimo with the possible exception of Tank, because he is so short and blocky. I mean, he's more like a Canelo body type,
Mm-hmm,
but he's a southpaw, so that makes him even more dangerous.
mm-hmm.
So like even
Yep.
southpaws aren't used to fighting southpaws as much as they are orthodox fighters.
Yep. I agree. Yeah, he's a strong southpaw. That's gonna be a difficult situation for anybody.
Why bother with him? He doesn't have a title. He's nothing. I mean, he Tiafimo could just fight Devin Haney, get that title, make one title defense at 135, and then move up. Boom. Now you're an undisputed champion. Not only undisputed with 4 titles, which is what, you know, um, Crawford and Usyk did, but he'd have 5 because he also has the franchise one. That's like another feather in his cap. And so, boom, like that's legendary. Move up and then start taking on the guys at 140. You know,
I'm gonna say that Ryan Garcia, if he's truly trying to fight Tank Davis, if he's true about that, which I think he is. I think he thinks now that knockdown that he suffered in the second round versus Luke Campbell, that probably to me that's the best thing that ever happened to him because he was so much on his high horse. I think that knockdown will refocus him into his craft because he has to he has to kind of bend his knees a little bit. I'm not saying get all the way down because he should use his height as his advantage because he's like he's really tall for the weight class. So he should use his height for his to his advantage, but he cannot hold his head up straight and then want to exchange with people on the inside or mid range or whatever. So he does have to rectify that. But I think that knockdown was good. Luke Campbell, I thought Luke Campbell missed a prime opportunity because Ryan Garcia said he said he was busy. And when you get knocked down and you say you was busy, it takes you about a round, almost a round, to get your head back together. Luke Campbell should have just jumped on him and seen what happened. Like what would happen, you know what I'm saying? The kid is a young fighter. He's never been tested in this position. This is his first time on the canvas in his career. Why didn't you go for it? But like I said earlier, Luke Campbell is what he is. You can't make him no more than what he is. He's just a fighter that he's good enough to compete with a fighter. And I just think that's it. He did good versus Norris, didn't win. He did good versus Lomachenko, didn't win. So I just think he is what he is. Sometimes
Yo,
the fighter gets.
Wayne, someone jumped on. I don't know who that is.
What's up, Phil? That's Phil.
Oh, yeah, what's up, Phil?
Oh no, he jumped back off. He'll jump back on. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm picking Ryan to beat Tank Davis. Now, I said earlier, I just Tank Davis. I didn't like the way he looked versus Leo Santa Cruz. As far as he could have made Leo Santa Cruz that fight, he could have still got the knockout, and he could have avoided a lot of the punches because Leo Santa Cruz was hitting him with like anything he wanted to hit him with. That's my thing. Like he was hitting
Yeah,
you with
but
whatever
you
he
got to
wanted to hit.
remember though that Leo is like a volume puncher, you know, so he's gonna throw a lot of punches and he's gonna hit you. The thing was that I noticed in that fight was that the punches really weren't affecting Tank, and I think had there been a little bit more power on those, you know, he might have tried to avoid it a little bit more. But he was just like a shark swimming in for the kill, and he was willing to walk through punches to get it. You know what I'm saying? So anyone who fights a guy like Santa Cruz, who's a volume puncher, is going to get hit eventually. It's just how much effect are those punches having?
I see what you're talking about. I see how it just Tank Davis is a lot of people say Tank Davis is more of a boxer that he was that you know as he was coming up in the amateurs is just when he got to the pros now he knocking guys out. Um, he started fighting people like Timo Lopez, even the Ryan Garcia kid, guys that got popping in they punches. He's gonna have to mix it up. He's not gonna just walk. I know he's big and blocky strong. I don't think Ryan Garcia is a Leon Santa Cruz as far as he don't have a strong base. Ryan Garcia has a strong base. He has a strong base. And he's just tall. He's just tall with it. You know what I'm saying? I think he's strong. He's just tall with it. And I just think I think it would be a pretty interesting fight, man. Now you will have to give the edge to Davis because Davis has fought, you know what I'm saying, better guys up to this point of his career. So you have to get an edge. But I'm gonna go with Ryan, man. I'm gonna go with I mean, he kind of stole to me. He kind of stole a lot of Tyson Fury flavor. Y'all see how he came in, carrying in like a king. He kind of had the same get up that Tyson Fury had. I don't know if you y'all peeped that, but like man, I'm like, dude, you got coming in with the crown. I mean, like you kind of bit this man whole interest entrance.
Is he gonna do the Deontay Wilder suit next time?
Oh, is he gonna do the Deontay Wilder suit? Hell no. But yeah, man. They saying Lomachenko and Timofimo Lopez might have a rematch. They saying that Bob Arum is offering Timofimo Lopez a lot of money for the rematch, and I heard his father even talk about it. I heard Timofimo Lopez talk about it that he said that the second fight will be easier. So, what do y'all think in the rematch? Will the rematch be easier?
I don't know about being easier, because the crazy part about it is Lomachenko actually picked up the pace in the last half of the fight. He just did it too late. So I don't know now if Lomachenko hasn't don't make any adjustments, if he is just gonna come in there and just lay down, then yeah. But if Lomachenko can get better, get sharper, and do what we imagined him to do in the first place, and not be so damn hesitant. And if he do what he did the last half of the fight and twist him up a little bit better and get them angles going and bust him up a little bit, you ain't got to really necessarily stop the guy or wobble the guy. Just look sharp like you did the last half of the fight. Come forward. That fight was there for Lomo to win. Like it ain't like Lopez did anything that was truly brutalizing. He just went in there and executed a down to the nitty gritty type of game plan. He followed the game plan down to the T. He didn't leave no room for error. So Lomachenko can come in and really actually win this second fight if he want to.
What's up, Phil? Phil, we were talking about the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis fight. What you think about that? Then you can
Yeah.
chime in.
Well, I want to make two different comments. Just want to say, man, Teofimo Lopez, man, turned into a big diva, man. I saw his interview, man, on Fight Hype, and he said some real disappointing things to me. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I think he, smelling himself. You understand what I'm saying?
I didn't see that. What did he say?
Man, just kind of, to me, the most disappointing thing he said was that people who don't want to say that he's undisputed are delusional and just hating because it's him. I mean, I guess he thinks he's that guy or something that, people don't want to see him be successful in boxing. And, I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's hating on this young man. We happy that you came in, you took a risk, and you dethroned the guy. And you right now, you own 3 belts, and you deserve those, and you earned those. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's hating on this guy. We're just stating the facts that Devin Haney is the WBC champion, and that just is what it is. And he went into some other things about how he wouldn't rematch Lomachenko and some other stuff like that. But hey, that's his prerogative. Um, but at the end of the day, we talking about this Ryan Garcia and this Tank Davis right now. So I'm gonna jump on to that. I think that's a good fight, but I will say this right here. Honestly, I don't think Ryan Garcia right now is ready for that fight. Okay. Um, I still believe that he's super green, man. You could have all the skills and the ability in the world, but something that comes with time is something that comes with a skill set that can't be described as experience, shall I say. And right now, I don't think he really has that experience to get in the ring with Tank Davis. Now, I know Tank Davis has let us down in the level of opposition that he's faced, without a doubt. Okay. So I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. But I do think when it comes to experience, Tank Davis absolutely has the edge on Ryan Garcia. And when you're talking about a fight between two heavy punchers, experience is going to play a major factor in that, okay? Because all it's going to take is that one mistake and your lights could be out. So I think he should probably take maybe one more I'm not going to say light touch, but still maintain a good level of opposition, to where you can be effective, but still work and sharpen your craft. But at the same time, we don't want you to fight a tomato can, somebody that you gonna end up stopping again. I think he took the right step in fighting against Luke Campbell. That is definitely a great, um, I would say, gauge on where Ryan Garcia is. And you've seen he got dropped. I mean, at the end of the day, he done a lot of good things in that fight, but he also done a lot of bad things. So I think he probably needs to take one more fight against a good opponent, somebody that's going to test him again. Um, and then he could probably take that Tank Davis fight, because I think Tank is I think Tank is ready. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's ready. My only question is, he's not really a 135er. It's just he's just in there because it seems like that's the hottest division right now, as far as that he's close to. But we all know he can thump, so we'll see how that goes. But overall, I like the fight, and I
But
mean, at the end of the
he
day,
has fought at 135 before, right?
yeah, he's had one fight at 135.
Right.
Well, two
So I
fights.
mean,
Excuse me. He's had two fights at 135,
yeah.
because
So
the
like
last
to me,
fight
that's
was.
not a good excuse if he loses that he's not a 135 guy. To me, he's
Nah,
so
but
blocky.
hold up, High Flow. You didn't
Has,
let me
ha,
finish.
hold on,
Hold
just
up,
a
High
sec.
Flow. Hold up, High Flow. You
Hasn't
didn't
he
let me
also
finish.
missed weight? And then you can go on.
High Flow. I never said that it's going to be an excuse if he wins or loses. I'm not talking about winning or losing. What I'm saying is, he's not experienced at 135. So that may be something that is a knock against him. Not saying he's going to win, he's going to lose. The facts remain that he's only had two bouts at 135. And I basically don't think he's a 135er. I think he would be more suited to fight at 130. That's just my opinion. Now, I don't care who wins the fight. What I'm saying is, it's a good fight for boxing, okay? And at the end of the day, it'll be a lot of questions answered on both ends with these two young guys early in their career. Whether they take a loss or not, they can definitely shake back, whether they decide to stay at the division, move down, or move up.
That's true because look, I want to see two young lions fight. I want to see two guys, and look, they can probably the fight can be so good they can elevate each other in a win or a loss. Sometimes we see fights like that when there's two good fighters in there and they elevate each other's career. And what Ryan Garcia is 22, Tank is like 24, 25. They have a chance to still be in the mix. Look, it's a lot of guys from one. These guys from 130 to 135, they all going to travel up together. They all going to travel to 140. Some of them going to travel to 147. So they're going to have a lot of time to build their legacy, a lot of opportunities to build their legacy. But the person who's going to be remembered the most out of these guys are going to be is going to be the guy that's going to be willing to fight the other guys. Like you cannot sit back on the sidelines and let everybody else fight, and you just you know what I'm saying? You just trying to look at the scenery, and then oh, the scenery ain't good. Okay, I'm gonna jump up to 140. You have to. These guys got to fight each other, man. I mean, Shakur Stevenson, he's still at 130. I think he said he's gonna fight Burchett or wherever that guy name is, and then he's gonna move to 135. He's tall for the weight. He's about 5'8". He look like he's getting taller every time I see him and Devin Haney. It seems like they're getting more taller and rangier. So those guys are going to end up at 47. So they all going to travel up together. Now we may not get these guys in the ring at 135. We're gonna probably most likely see some of these fights at 140 and maybe see some of these fights at 147. I don't think we're gonna get them all at 130, 135. I just
I'm
think
curious. I'm a little curious as to what Phil thinks. I don't know if you were listening earlier when Zone and I were in agreement that we think that that Haney's a better fight for Garcia at 135 than Tank, just because of styles and Garcia's, young man. I heard what you were saying about Garcia and the experience, but also you got to take into account the age and growing into your bone structure. I don't think Garcia's fully grown into his bone structure yet. Like, I made the point earlier, it takes a while for that, like maybe late 20s where your bones just harden a little bit and you get more of that grown man strength. I don't think Garcia is there yet. And I think he would need that against a Tank where, Haney, for instance, has a title. He's rangier. He doesn't have that blocky, short type of body that, that could cause Garcia problems with his head straight up. So I'm curious to hear your take on that, just because we discussed that before you came in.
Yeah, I heard y'all discussing that, and I completely agree with y'all, but not for so much of the reasons that you guys mentioned. I think it's a better fight for him because I think that he's not going to have to worry about Haney stopping his ass. You understand what I'm saying?
Zone did say that.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I don't think he has to worry about him stopping him. So if it's me, I would absolutely probably take that route before the Tank Davis route. And I mean, it's still a good fight. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, at the end of the day,
yeah, as a fan, like, I want to see either one, but I mean, I'm talking
exactly
about from Garcia's perspective. Like, to me, the Haney fight is a better option because you have the title and a guy that's not coming in there to like kill you.
So yeah, and this is another thing I want to mention to you guys. So, and this is why I think partially the reason why the Haney fight is not going to happen right away is because you got to think about it. Both these guys are fighting on DAZN. These are two DAZN fighters. Why would DAZN want to put, let's just say, one of their elite guys up against another elite guy when the app itself is still kind of young? You got Ryan Garcia is going to bring in a solid fan base. You have Devin Haney that's going to bring in a pretty decent fan base. That kind of that crossover, kind of fan base kind of deal. I mean, I don't think they're going to do that fight now because I think they're saving it for later on down the line. And I think that's probably smart to do. The only problem is Ryan Garcia is building momentum right now, and this guy doesn't even have a belt. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, if he has an opportunity to grab one of those straps, which right now, shit, is only one out there, he's going to have to fight against T.O. unless T.O. ends up dropping one of the straps. So these are great fights to be made without belts being on the line. But if I'm Ryan Garcia, I think if he goes into negotiations, because I think, between him and Haney, I think it'll be a great fight. I'd say 50-50. If he goes into a fight, let's just say with T.O. Fimo Lopez, and he's got one strap with his presence as far as his fan base, I think he can, whether he win, lose, draw, whatever the situation may be, he come away with a handsome bag. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, possibly have a chance to be the real undisputed guy at 135. But we'll see how that goes, man. I agree with both of y'all. I think it's a better option for him.
Yeah, I think the Tank route is the worst route honestly for Ryan Garcia. I think anybody else is better. Maybe T.O. would not be so good either, but Devin Haney is right there, like you said. He's right there, and he's an easier fight. I don't know why they're trying so hard for this Tank fight. I think it's dumb, personally.
Well, Ryan Garcia said that he sees flaws in Tank, and he thinks it's going to be an easy fight.
Well, a lot of people say that. I mean, Mikey Garcia thought he saw something in Errol Spence, and we saw how that worked out.
I mean, and let me tell you what I tell people about that, though. Mikey probably did see something in Errol Spence, but guess what? His body didn't allow him to complete those tasks that he had in front of him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point because Zone said that, because I said Zone, I said I think Mikey Garcia can take some advantage of some things that I know I see on Earl Spence, and Zone kept saying, he's like, I know you see that, But Mikey is not the one to take advantage of those things those flaws that Earl Spence has. He
Yeah,
said
he
Mikey
just
is
don't
not
have
the
the
one.
skill set. Yeah, he
Now,
don't have the skill set.
I think Mikey got intimidated by the size. Once they got in the ring with each other, I think he got intimidated by the size as well. Because it's one thing to stand next to someone, and it's another thing to stand next to someone when they're in the ring and they rehydrated. Man, it's different. You know what I'm saying? It's different because when Earl Spence were when they were this one Earl Spence was more like uh, not as fat, you know what I'm saying, out of training. And when they took that first photo with him and when Lennox Lewis was standing there between them, you see the size difference then. You know what I'm saying? And once Earl got in the gym, and then once he rehydrated, because you know when he rehydrated, he probably came in there like closer to 160. And you know, Garcia, he wasn't gonna come in there that heavier because he's coming up, so he's not gonna come in there as heavy. And I just think two things. It was the size, and Earl Spence had a really good jab there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. Earl Spence, man, I'm starting to think that, man, a lot of people is not speaking about this man's jab that much, but I can tell you this right here. He has proven to have a pretty damn good jab. And every opponent who's came out of the ring with him within his last 3 fights has came out and say that he has a damn good jab. His jab is underrated, for real. So I think we might need to start talking about that jab, man, to be honest with
Yeah, all the guys he fought, he got a good. I mean, he got a. He showed now versus Danny Garcia. It was more. He was pushing it out. He wasn't as snappy as he was with Garcia. He was pushing it out versus Danny. Now, could that be because of rust? Because in the corner, there James kept telling him stop pushing the jab, stop pushing it, stop pushing it. I see him pushing it before Derek James was saying that, and I was like, man, he's pushing his jab. You gotta flick it out there because you can't be doing that versus a guy like you know what I'm saying, a sharpshooter like if you gonna fight Terrence Crawford, you can't be pushing your jab out there, man. You're gonna get caught. And then another thing, he got a good jab, but if Terrence Crawford turns southpaw, they're gonna be more. They're gonna be pawing each other's jab. It's kind of going to be. It's going to kind of somebody is going to give up on trying to jab the other one, or their jab is going to keep pawing at each other. Because once he turns southpaw, their jab's going to be right there on each other. So he does have a really good jab. I don't know. It could have been Russ. That's why he was pawing it out there versus Danny. But in any other fight, especially that Mikey Garcia fight. That Mikey Garcia fight is the fight where he showed to me that he showed a really good jab in that fight. The other fights was kind of decent, but that fight right there, he really won the fight off his jab. Mikey Garcia could not get past the jab.
Well, the thing with Mikey though is that he's so much shorter. He's not as rangy, and therefore, a jab is a very effective weapon against this guy coming up 2 weight classes and everything. No excuses for Mikey because Mikey was the one screaming and crying about
Yeah.
having the
Mikey
fight.
called him out. Yeah, Mikey
Yeah,
called him out.
yeah, exactly. But in a fight like that, a jab will be an effective weapon when you're the rangier, guy. Where I think in other fights, I don't know how effective that jab would be against, especially if he moves up to 54 or, like he's talking about fighting Canelo. I don't know how effective that jab would be, but I don't know. I'm a fan of a snappy jab. I don't like range finding jabs. I don't like, you know, uh, pushing jabs. I like the snappy jab. It's a beautiful thing to behold
you. Like
when
that
you see.
Mayweather jab.
Uh, I don't know about his jab.
No, but I like
That Mayweather,
I'm talking
man,
about more like
that thing snappy, boy.
Ali, Larry Holmes type of Sugar Ray Leonard snappy type jabs.
I like the Winky Wright one. I like the Lennox Lewis and Winky Wright, the power jab where you step
Yeah,
into
the power jab. Yeah, it's a difference between a snappy and a power jab. I agree with you.
I
Lennox
know there is a
is like
difference. There's so many different kinds of jabs. That's the funny thing.
yeah,
It's
That
like
that boy
people
that boy Ricky
people
White.
talk about oh the jab, but it's there are several different types.
yep.
And
Hey, that boy
you
Ricky
know,
White went on a tear, didn't he? For like 2 years, he went
Who?
on a tear. Ricky
He
White.
right.
He
Yep.
started off with Trinidad. Then he went from Trinidad. He went to my guy
He beat Shane Mosley
he
twice
beat
and then
yeah, he beat Shane
hit
Mosley twice. Shane Mosley
Trinidad.
should never been in the ring with him. Man, he won't never beat no
I
more.
think he got robbed against Jermaine Taylor. I think he beat Jermaine Taylor, me personally, but
That was a tale of two fights. That fight was a tale of two fights. I mean, I thought Jermaine Taylor did better than what people thought he did. I thought Jermaine Taylor was a better fighter than what people thought he was.
I can't hear Wayne. I don't know if you guys
yeah,
can.
made a head without.
yeah. I think he
What?
faded out.
Oh, okay. The one thing about
He's back.
getting hit by Ricky Right jab is the judges can pick it up so well because he makes your head snap back. He makes your head snap back. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we heard.
Yeah,
I think
so
we
we
heard
got
that.
yeah, we got
Okay.
you.
Yeah. So yeah. My guy Ricky Wright went on there. Yeah. Now he went up too high when he tried to fight Bernard Hopkins. That was just too much. That was just Bernard Hopkins was too physical. Bernard Hopkins used all his tricks in the book. Like Zone don't like Bernard Hopkins. When you say crafty, Zone look at that as being you cheating or you're dirty or something like that. But yeah, Bernard Hopkins. He gonna use all his craftiness. I think he headbutted the man a couple times. And what Ricky White failed to do in that fight, Ricky White should have got back forceful with Hopkins because you have to do that versus Hopkins. When Hopkins do all that stuff, you have to get back forceful with him to make him stop doing that stuff. Otherwise, he's gonna keep doing it. But yeah, my guy Ricky White went on a little tear there for them 2 years.
Yeah, Ricky Wright, man. I think when we talk about fighters, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Ricky Wright might be one of the most underrated fighters that's not mentioned in boxing. If you really want to be honest about it, that's just the way I feel about Ricky Wright, man. He's one hell of a fighter, man. Nothing but love and respect for Ricky Wright, man. We need to shout him out more, man, without a doubt.
Well, Winky, I think he was. He had that style with the elbows, that Claudie, Winky Wright, Arthur Abraham style. The guys with the long elbows, where they're hard to hit. They've got good defense just because anatomy. And if you may not know, I don't know whether you were watching boxing at the time, but Winky Wright at the time, when he was doing really well, was like the darling of like the hip hop community. Like everybody was taking pictures of Winky Wright. He was getting a lot of shine, and at that time. But I think the like not unlike Roy Jones, the losses that he took later in his career, the Paul Williams getting hit with that uppercut way underneath all his all the arms tied up, and boom, he got hit with the uppercut. And then, a few other ones, kind of erased some of his, good achievements. But yeah, I agree. I think he is not mentioned enough. But that of those guys with that style, with the long elbows, I think he was the best one.
That streak that he went on put him in the Hall of Fame. That streak that he went on, beating Tito Trinidad the way he did. I mean, I was shocked the way he dominated the fight. Uh, I was shocked the way he dominated Tito Trinidad, man. Tito Trinidad, even though Bernard Hopkins stopped Tito Trinidad, he didn't dominate him like that.
See, I'm not a big fan of the long
Let me
elbow style because I think they wait till the other guy finishes and like they don't punch with the other guy. And like to me, that's a skill in and of itself. Like being able to, like Danny Garcia, for instance, all his success to me comes from punching with people because he's getting hit, but then he'll just come back, roll with it, and come back with the counter. Where the long elbow guys tend to like sit and wait until you stop and then throw their punches. So
Hey, let me ask y'all a question real quick, man, because I know we're talking about Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, but I kind of want to go down to the 130-pound division because I want to talk about the guy that out of the young guys, the one who I think is probably the most poised, and I think is probably going to be the most successful out of all these young guys, and that's Shakur Stevenson. What do you guys think about Shakur? Because I'm real big on him and his fighting style and what he's bringing to boxing, man.
Shoot, I picked Shakur Stevenson and all these guys to be the best out of the group. I just think he has everything. Now he's displaying a little bit more power in his shots. I know early in his career people were saying that he's not punching that hard, but he was young, so he's not even 25 yet. So now he's punching harder. He's punching with more authoritative. He's training and always in the training camp with Chance Crawford. He said in training camps with Gerard Enos. He has even though what's name is not his manager anymore, he's still around him. So he's around greatness. You know what I'm saying? He surrounded himself around greatness, and he has the talent. He won the silver medal in the Olympics. He can box, he can punch, he can come forward, he can fight off his back foot. He has a mean streak. He has a lot of confidence. I like the kid. I think I'm on the same train as Phil. I just think he's going to be the best out of the crop when it's all said and done.
yeah, I like Shakur Stevenson also for all the same reasons that you just said. I think he's just young and he needs some opportunities. That's all. Like, you know, giving him, that's who Tank really should be fighting. Let's be real. Like, if he's gonna stay at 130, fight Shakur Stevenson, and let's see how you do against him. But yeah, Shakur Stevenson seems to have all the attributes that you would want in a fighter, and he looks really good, really good.
I think, I seen the writing on the wall for Tank Davis is because Mayweather is trying to model his career through and give Tank Davis the same model and the same blueprint. He's trying to do that because I knew 2 years ago that Tank Davis was going to fight Leo Santa Cruz because when I found out that they was not going to give the fight to my guy Jerry Russell, when I found out that they was not gonna get and they on the same side of the street, they in the same stable. When I found out that he was not going to get that fight, I was like, oh, they saving him for Tank Davis because when they said Tank Davis is going to go on pay per view, oh, that's a good opening. Fight a Hispanic fighter on pay per view, and Leo Santa Cruz is popular. I was like, okay, that's what they about to do. And 2 years later, what he do? Get in the ring with Leo Santa Cruz. Now the next step, I don't like you said that Tank Davis should fight Shakur Stevenson. There's no way Mayweather's gonna put Tank Davis in the ring with Shakur Stevenson right now. They're not gonna fight that fight right now. They may fight that fight later, but that's a dangerous fight for both of those guys. And Mayweather, the only fighter that he has of note that's gonna do anything within the next couple years, 2 3 years, that's Tank Davis. He not finna put his money guy in that type of fight. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, see,
Don't they have
I don't
Wilder?
think no. I'm talking about Mayweather's fighter. Like his fighters. He look. He's running some of PBC with Al Heyman. It came out that him and Al Heyman are partners. which I knew that was kind of the case. But I'm talking about the guy that's his fight, like his only fighter. Like Al Heyman is not that has no part of Tank Davis. That's Mayweather fighter. He signed to Mayweather. That's Mayweather's fighter. So I'm talking about his fighter. Like I'm trying to figure out how is Mayweather gonna navigate these waters around all these young guys. Like how he's gonna keep Tank Davis from fighting some of these young guys. I think the fight with Ryan Garcia is going to happen more than ever now because Ryan Garcia is a popular fighter. He got a big social media following, and he's uh he's kind of green. I know. I think Phil noted that he's kind of green because even though he is a skillful guy, you could say he's green at this level. You know what I'm saying? He's still kind of green, even though he beat Luke Campbell, who Luke Campbell has been at at this level for a little while. Luke Campbell, faced Lomachenko, faced Lenores. So Luke Campbell does have some guys that he faced, but yeah, he is still kind of green. So I think that's the fight that Mayweather's going to make. He's probably going to have to make that fight because Devontae Davis is going to have to mix it up with these guys, some of these guys. He's not going to be able to avoid all these guys and keep his credibility, which are
Uh, so you're saying what now?
I said that I think the better fight for Ryan Garcia is going to be um Tank Davis. I think Tank Davis is going to fight Ryan Garcia because I don't
Well,
see.
it seems like that's what's going to happen, but I mean, to me, if I'm Ryan Garcia, I'd take the Devin Haney fight first. They're both, like you said, on the same side of the street, and to me, that's a more winnable fight. I think Tank Davis is all wrong for Ryan Garcia, especially at this young age where he, hasn't really grown into his bones yet. But yeah, if it was me and I was the matchmaker, I'd be trying to get the Devin Haney fight for Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, it's reports coming out that Ryan Garcia handlers are telling him that Tank Davis is not a good fight for him at this moment. But what do they do if he demands the fight? It's
Let him get his ass whooped. I don't care.
same thing with Fernando Vargas. Remember, Fernando Vargas was young. He was calling for the Tito Trinidad fight. It's not that his handlers didn't want him to fight that fight. It's just that he probably fought Tito Trinidad a year or two too early because Tito Trinidad was at the top of his game. Tito Trinidad was came off the De La Hoya victory. He had beat that one guy with the sleepy eye. What was his name again? The guy with the messed up eye. He had to keep on having surgery on his eye. He had won gold for the U.S. What's his name? He fought him
I
at
can't think of
154.
it.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
He fought him
the
at
lazy
154.
eye.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that guy. But he had came off of that one. So he was in his at the height of his powers. You know what I'm saying? To where his mind and his boxing ability was all one. And I just thought that what's the name? He could have waited. Fernando Vargas could have waited a year or two before he fought De La Hoya and Tito Trinidad. But yeah, hey, if the young guy wants it, why the better thing is go after something you want. Go after it when you're young, man. When you're young and vibrant. I mean, maybe he is so naive that he's not even gonna be scared of Tank. That he go in there and what if he knock off Tank? That's the man can blow up if he go in there and knock off. Look, he could be so naive that he's not even scared of Tank power. Because when you're young, man, you feel like you take on the world. You feel like nobody. And I like Ryan Garcia's confidence. He has a lot of confidence, and he has some skill to back that confidence up. Now he do have some things to work on. He does, like I said, he holds his head up too straight to me, and his feet can get a little stationary. You know what I'm saying? His feet can get a little stationary. But hey, if he let him, if he wants it, let him go get it. I think this fight will be a big. I think this will be a big fight. I think this fight will be a big fight. It'll be a good promotion. You got Mayweather, Cooper against De La Hoya. Look, that's another storyline right there in itself. You know what I'm saying? Mayweather and De La Hoya had this big thing. Now, Mayweather gonna be at the press conferences. I hope the COVID-19 thing is under control. And De La Hoya is gonna be at the press conference. They may have words back and forth. Or De La Hoya, I beat you. I wanted to rematch. All this stuff is in the melting pot. And Brian Garcia is Hispanic. Hank Davis is an African American fighter. So hey, it has all the ingredients to be a big fight. Hey, thanks for coming through, y'all, man. I'm gonna close this up. I gotta get the little dude in the bed. But thanks for coming through, y'all, man.
Hey, no problem. We appreciate it and
Hey,
enjoy
man.
the discussion.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate you allowing me to come on your platform. Speak on some boxing. You know what I'm saying? That's what we all like to do. And again, man, anybody that's listening, man, be looking out for me, man. I got my channel. It's coming real soon. So y'all boys be looking out for that, man. I'm gonna be dropping some videos coming up here within the next week. So keep your eyes open for that.
You got the name of your channel?
Yeah, my
You got
channel's gonna be called. Yeah, we gonna drop it, man. I'm gonna let y'all know what's up, man. So I got the name, man.
okay.
I'm gonna put it in the secret society backstage, and
Okay.
gonna put that on Front Street.
All right. Text it to me in the group chat there.
All right, that's a bit.
All right. All right, y'all.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
All right, Hype Law.